Morning! Good morning. It is Sunday morning coffee number 156. A wonderful light reflection there. If I sit here, you won't see it. One of the reasons I'm slightly late is that I realised. Oh, hang on, just turn me off on the phone. Dun, dun, dun. I realised the last few weeks that I need the light now that it's actually getting a bit darker. So we don't get that weird thing, where the auto adjust goes all strange. So yes, let me twirl it a sec. Well, you can see my Hoover at this angle. There you go. I've made it worse. I've made it worse. I know you saw my pajamas. I think. I know. Oh well, it's not that bad anyway. But I'll sit here. Yeah, you can't see it. So hello. I've got notes. I've got coffee. I'm here. I'm nicely illuminated. And you can see my Hoover. I normally do a bit of a test before to see what you can see in the background, but because I'm a bit late, I didn't. So can you see? Nothing shady. What's that? Nothing shady. What was I watching? The newish Alan Partridge thing yesterday. Where there's a guy being interviewed and he's got a book and he moves the book and you can see in the mirror behind him that he's got no pants on. It's not that. It's not a case of that. Hang on, let me turn. I had it on my phone, so I've got me there in this weird inception. Let's get rid of me there. So yeah, I've actually got notes and stuff today. And the new co-hosts, the mice that are partially glared out. But maybe I'll bring the thing over to show. I'll explain about the mice anyway. But that's where they live for reference anyway. They'll probably almost never be seen on the show because they're nocturnal and because there's a massive light glowing in. But you never know. So if there is a mice, you'll have to do a "it's behind you," and that'll add an extra layer of depth. What else have we got going on? Shark Hoover. That is, love that damn Hoover. The pigs are being very loud because I haven't attended to them yet. So they're running around. They're getting a bit jealous, I think, that I got the mice now. You can see all mice tunnels. It's craziness. They've got a whole world going on there. But to make the guinea pigs feel less abandoned, I bought them this terrifying juggalo, which I'll have to put back in because Dave's been resting his chin on it. But it is terrifying, I think you'll agree. But Dave likes doing this. So yeah, who designs these? Who designs these? It's a dog toy. They like the ratties because they can pull the tail around, and obviously all stuffed toy things because they're really into them now. Mostly Dave, to be fair, but I check them all the time to make sure because obviously if they chew out any filling, but because a lot of their land is soft, they don't really associate soft things with nibbles. It's more of like, oh, this is comfy. Dave, that's Nini. That squeak is Nini. She's so hungry. Yeah, whereas mice, I would not give this because they would just absolutely destroy and then consume all of the stuff. So I'm going to throw that back in. Maybe Dave is a small dog in disguise. He is, to be fair. Yeah. Right. Oh my god, it's not. It's not even food. So yeah, it's supposed to be a nice lolly, I believe. Also, because I'm in a slightly different position, I'm kind of perched on the edge, so I'm a bit. Yeah, mice would kill it and live in it. Yeah, no squishies for the mice, only the pigs. Oh, I've caused absolute carnage in there. What have I done? I haven't seen Gary in the chat yet, but in case he's coming later, it is mug reveal time. Controversial mug today. It's Christmas guinea pigs. It's the Christmas pigs. Look at the sprouts. You'll get some food afterwards. Poor little things. They're so starving. So yeah, I've got the Christmas pig, and I was at the garden centre, as one does, and I discovered that this brand. So I have this mug, and I have 4 of the standard mug, the non-Christmas version, because every Christmas or birthday, a different friend will get me one. So I've got the whole set. But I discovered at the garden centre that they now do plushie variants. So I have this, and I've threatened the guinea pigs that I'm going to replace them all with plushes if they don't squeak. Stop their squeepins. Squeepins are very cute. But yeah, I have the official mug art guinea pig. It is very nice. You go, oh, got a nice bit there where you can grab it. Right, so this was the night before Christmas, and the pigs were vocal as usual. They are very vocal. So where to begin? You'll notice I'm a bit perkier. Apologies for last week when I was at Mum's house, and I always get a bit distracted when there's someone else around because I get really self-conscious of doing the show. So if I was a bit like, because I feel like a bit of an idiot, but I think that's quite a standard thing because it is a bit weird just talking to a camera. But I can pretend. But when there's other people around, I always get reminded of how weird it is. So, and also the fact I had to move it to Facebook because I know not everyone has the Facebook. But yeah, the internet there is so bad, it can't it can't work here. So apologies. But yeah, I'm back. I've got stuff to talk about. It is Remembrance Sunday, so I will make sure I am finished before 11, of course. Even though I've got loads to chat, I'll make sure it's gone before then. So if you're worried about that, do not worry. It is also inaccurate because a guinea pig should never have that many sprouts, just so you know. They can actually really hurt them. So this winter, when you see the viral sprout videos go, they can have like 1 sprout every now and again, but that's it. Fact of the day. Does it have? It doesn't have text in both bits, but like as I drink, it reveals the word sprouts. What you got there? Anyway, I should probably talk about Bad Squiddo, shouldn't I? My critters. I'm wondering if you can read all my books at the back. It's nothing dodgy though. It's all war. It's all war books, and that fabulous art from the Forgotten Imp, who I met at Expo. I've got a really nice triptych from her, which I'm going to put above the mices there. So, oh yeah, so that'll be that's a good justification to do it because it'll be in the backdrop. Nice, and you can see Rubber Baggy up at the top there. Some of Amy's dragons, sweet. Let's get going. What have we got? So, if you have not been living under a rock, you'll see that I've been very ill for a very long time. And I'm definitely on the up, which is ace. I got all sorted the other week. So the main issue now is because I have spent the majority of the last few months in bed. So even when I've appeared fine, it's because I'm such a beast when I do get into work. But I've spent a lot of time in bed and my body has deteriorated. So even though currently the issues I had are no longer bothering me, I'm ill from inactivity, basically. So I'm trying to slowly get my body working again. And part of that has been the frustrating part of that my office is in walking distance, but I can't walk back and forth in the same day because it's too much. And so I've been having to spend on taxis daily, which sucks because that's added up a lot. But I'm now at 1 taxi a day. And I've managed to get myself moving a bit. It's just that trying to not move too much and overdo it all. So it's sort of like starting from scratch with exercise, as well as trying to sort my food out as well, because I've obviously just been in bed and not eating great, which also didn't help. So I know all that sounds very boring and nothing to do with Bad Squiddo, but it has obviously affected Bad Squiddo a lot because it's just me that everything is relying on. But I'm getting back to it now. this week I got a wave of hyperactivity and mega hyperfixation, and I have done probably like 2 months of work this week, which is incredible. The amount I've done. This is where I think, damn, I should have a reality TV show and you can see it in action because it moves faster than the speed of light. The amount of bits of catching up. And it's hard because obviously catching up all of the emails and things, and if anyone's got any issues or questions, and because I've not been there, they've sort of piled up. And then some people have obviously emailed multiple times, getting angry each time. And so it's quite a lot to take on at once, whereas normally it might be like one email a week or something like that. So getting it all at once is like, oh, but I've managed it. Because it's really easy when you've had a lot of time off to go back, look at the emails and go, oh, I'm going to go back to bed. And that sounds like I get loads of hate emails, but I don't. It's just the occasional bits, and because you don't reply to people, they get very angry. So it's the odd bit where, say, like I've missed something out of an order, or someone's asked a question and I've not replied and stuff like that. But yeah, I have plowed through it, emailed all those people, fixed all those issues. Most of them, there's one or two. So if it's you, look at that pig at the other side. But I've got through that. I've been on the apology tour, as we call it. And all the sorry, I've been AWOL, but I'm back. What can I do? And fixing everything a million times better to grovel, basically, which is always hard. But I've done it, and I've done it in good spirits. I'm definitely sort of a notch happier in my happiness chart, for sure. So there's loads to get through, loads of stuff that I've been doing, which is good. What's we got? Oh, I've also got a bit of critique, which you'll like, but I'll save that for a bit, and I'll talk about Squiddo first before I get unprofessional. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. But I've also, in beast mode, not overdone it, because that's also something else that I do. So I've been making sure I go home at a decent time. I've been taking care of myself, all that sort of stuff. But the hours that I have been in have just been intense, but in a good way. And it's made me happy because I like doing stuff, and I've been stuck in bed for so long. And then obviously all the different misery that comes with that as well, because you're frustrated because you can't do the stuff. Just getting back out there and doing things is what I really like doing. I can't really sit down still for too long. And I've had to, so that's kind of been rubbish. And then because it's been like that, I've kind of got really low energy, and then I'm like, what am I doing? This isn't me. So being back in the saddle and beast moding it has been ace. Cheers, Brussels pig. Mm-mm. So if you've seen, there is a newsletter where I've announced 1 million new releases. So there's lots of new releases. Morning, Mum. Mum said this morning. Hey, Mum, look, it's my mice. So we got all those done. If you have a look at the newsletter, if not, go look, as always, at the news section on the website. We've got the RAF blokes, who have been a massive hit. We've got the freebooters, that's free pirates, that fit really well with our other ones. Super great for sort of Archipelago, Frostgrave, and all that shenanigans. Pauline the Shaman and her apprentice. I'm sure we had some Scenics releases as well. Snowmen? Can't remember if the Snowmen were out last time. Snowmen and Elementals. So I've put all that into a newsletter. I've also mentioned Indie Winter again. If you've missed that, use the code IndieWinter10 for the end all of November. As many orders as you like. So if you order some stuff and then you're like, I wish I'd got that, you can do it again. It's in the newsletter, but I will slowly say Indie Winter 10 in one thing, and you get 10% off anything on the website, including the bargain bin. And each time someone's done that, I've been like, smart move, hacker man. It's kind of like breaking the system, but I don't really care because I want to get the stuff in the bargain bin out of the way anyway. So it's like, yeah, take it, smart move, like it. So yeah, that's on till the end of November. But I'm also doing it with Fugu, Fenris. I think it's Fugu or Fugao. I've been calling them Fugu, but I may be wrong. But then Fenris, Exit 23, and Open Combat, who I'm all chums with, and they're all ace and Annie approved. So the idea is that we're kind of cross promoting each other a bit, small companies helping each other out, sort of thingy, and trying to make it a bit of a thing. We all did it a bit last minute, so if it goes well, we'll put more, maybe do something where we have each other's things and it's a little bundle you could get or something like that. Because Open Combat does rules, Fenris and Fugu do terrain, Fenris does figures as well. Exit 23 does paints, they do all the Turbo Dork paints, and they do the really cool women sort of proxy Blood Bowl type stuff. Fantasy football. You're right there, Dave. Dave's typing again. I think he's typing in the comments, isn't he? I disapprove of this as I am not being fed. I think that's how he would talk were he a human. So loud. What have we got? So new stuff. What was I at? Apart from Dave tapping away. I'll drink coffee, that's what I'll do. Oh, it's even got little Brussels on the handle, isn't that nice? Yeah, so the Indie Winter. We didn't want to make it too big because then it just becomes another thing, like Follow Friday and stuff, where things just kind of get lost in the voids. That's why there's only 5 of us, and it's 5 cool people. But there's nothing to stop anyone else who wants to sort of join in. So if you're watching it and you're a company and you're like, I want to join in Indie Winter, I'm an indie person, put the code on, hashtag it up, get it out there. So yeah, it's just nice that you can sort of Indie Winter, November, sod it, let's get all these bits. So so it's going really well so far. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do something like this again. There's a few other companies that have messaged and said, oh, I've missed this, but or it's not a good time, but can we do something in the future? So I'm definitely up for doing more sort of cross promo collaboration things, because we're all in the same, we're all in the same sort of boat. Well, those size. Not all war games companies are in the same boat. Some are in a large cruise liner, and some of us are in our little boats like that, go paddling away with the sharks everywhere, going, oh god. So we're not in the same boat, but there are definitely sort of tiers of company. So definitely tiers in company. On tour, Twitter has been taken over by Elon Musk, the evil billionaire. So a lot of people have asked, will I be leaving Twitter? Will I be going to Mastodon, which seems to be the in place right now? I've spent like 10 years building my Twitter account to nearly 10,000 followers. There's been some tweets talking about how it's almost like a high street, not in terms because it's like a high street with a pub and some shops and all that sort of stuff. So it's not just obviously the sales part, but Elon buying it is almost like destroying the high street, basically. So whilst it's easy for people to go, yeah, I'm out of here, I'm like, I've invested a lot of time, no money. I've never paid Twitter anything. I've never done any ads or anything like that. But I've spent a lot of time building up my community on Twitter, and I'm not going to go just because he's owning it, basically. Everywhere. I'm a bit cynical, to be fair, because I use Facebook and I think Zuckerberg's an absolute piece. So it's that whole you've got to sell your stuff somewhere, and there's still a whole lot of people on Twitter. So for the time being, at least, because who knows what might happen, but I'm not going anywhere. Will I join Mastodon? That appears to have its own issues. Currently not, because I don't have time to manage what I already have. So I tend not to join smaller things. Sometimes I do but you won't get much out of me. You'll kind of just get copy paste spam on some of those sort of things where I don't really want to spend any time on, but I want to have a bit of a presence. So I'll just like repost stuff. So you don't really want me there, to be honest. I'm not going to join in the community, like the different forums that I only really go on when I'm promoting a Kickstarter. So I'm not really offering much to the community, whereas still things like Twitter, you'll get my interaction and daily thoughts and all that sort of stuff. So obviously, yeah, I think Twitter's now even more of a hell site than before, but it's still got value. And as long as people that are cool are there, there's still little patches. You make your own community. I know it's sort of simplifying it, but I have a massive block list on Twitter. And I still think it's highly usable. You just block them as soon as you see any of this, hateful nonsense. I just block it, and I've got it nicely curated. So yeah, just block it. On the subject of Twitter, I've started a new Twitter account, controversially in these troubling Twitter times. So I have another account called @RagingAnnie, which I've decided I won't use as much, but it's to kind of stop me using Bad Squiddo for personal stuff, which I've used for 10 years. But it means that I can tweet more, basically, because before I wasn't going to do a separate account because I thought, I spend enough time on social media as it is, so I'll just not get involved with stuff. But since I helped Fenris out on that Kickstarter, I thought this is something that Annie's doing that's not Bad Squiddo, and there is actually a difference between Annie and Bad Squiddo. So that means I can kind of post more nonsense, really. So if you want more nonsense, all the Bad Squiddo stuff will still be on the Bad Squiddo page, so it doesn't affect any of that. But maybe if I'm working on other projects or things that aren't to do with Bad Squiddo, that are me, Annie Norman, or I want to post more things about my hobbies, and chat to people about that, it means your feed, basically, as I explained to someone, I said, your feed's not clogging up with me talking to Anjali about Animal Crossing, basically. But if you want that, you can follow Raging Annie. It's very weird having such a big platform and then having a smaller one with the Annie. So I'm kind of used to tweeting something and then it's like notification. And then with Raging Annie and my little amount of followers in comparison, it's like you got to like. But that's what it is. It's so I'm going to be posting more mice, more pigs. I'll still be mice and pigs on the main one as well, but more. And yeah, maybe just whatever I get up to, like people do. Like what human people do when they go to places and they do stuff and they talk about it. And that's part of a brain thing for me as well. That like I did feel very much for quite a while that Annie had sort of disappeared and morphed only into Bad Squiddo, and there was no Annie left. I'm trying to sort of get the Annie back, so that's kind of helping with that. Even though I haven't really used it that much, but it's worth a follow if you're interested in the crap that I get up to anyway, or if I want to be a bit more controversial, which is coming in this. Got to make sure I won't go over to 11. Don't worry. I better get through it, haven't I? So, yes, I've been doing loads of stuff, loads of boring catch-up admin, that sort of thing, including reworking all of my order forms, putting all the new stuff on there, changing a bunch of stuff, which was me in absolute Excel beast mode the other day. I've got 3 big orders ready to go out on Monday. So I've got North Star getting a whole bunch of stuff. Battlefield Berlin, I've got a bunch of stuff. And Cotton Jim's flags, I've got a bunch of stuff. So they're all going out. USA, Germany, across the yard. Also, I don't know if they're out to the public or will be out to the public, but I've managed to convince Wave the Terrain at North Star during the week, because they currently don't stock everything and they don't stock the terrain. And partly that is because the markup's not as big for me, because obviously when you go for a distributor, you sell them at a lot more of a discount than you do to a retailer. My resin costs are high because it's so damn good. But I managed to work through the list and sort of make a core amount that would work for me and work for them. So you may, I think this is what's happening. So you may be able to get my terrain from North Star shortly, because this was Friday afternoon and they don't do anything at the weekend. So what I know so far is they've added them to the order forms for retailers. So this means that more retailers will have Bad Squiddo Scenics now available. And I think it's a bit of a test of the water, so they're going to see how popular it is. But I'm pretty sure that they'll be adding it to their website next week. So it's kind of the core bestsellery things like the food piles, the cargo. But because it's such a big range, it's kind of prohibitive for some shops to take it all because you've just got all this stuff. So that's why I picked out the sort of solid ones that there's got lots of use, for example. Whereas maybe like Screaming Mutant Squirrels aren't quite as mainstream, so they haven't got that, I'm afraid. But that might also just bring more awareness to the Scenics range anyway, and get more people to sort of come over and that sort of stuff. So that's really positive. That's a really big deal. So applause. What else? Let me scooch through the things. Minis to office. I bought these. They're everywhere currently in this sofa. Dun dun dun. So all of my miniatures, all the painted miniatures, are in these drawers, and oh yeah, I have to retract a tip. Mum gave me a thumbs down again. It's okay. You just click the thumbs up. Click the thumbs up, and it will get rid of the thumbs down. Do it. So I did have my minis on this, and I said, this is awesome because it's non-slip. I take it back. For long-term storage, it is terrible because if anything falls over, the paint will stick to it. And I learned this the hard way. Some of my pro painted minis I've pulled off and the paint's just peeled off with them. Luckily not too much damage. But I've got rid of those. I've got these sticky dots because I wanted to transport them to the office, but I didn't want to put everything in a multi-case and then have to get it all back out the multi-case again. And some of them are weird shapes. And I was like, I just want to get them, and it's not even that far. So I glued them down with these adhesive dots. Most of the minis just had one. Some of the mounted had two. They're wicked. They're not as good as what I've got for the cabinets, which are too good, to be fair. They're too strong. Angeli, you were mentioned earlier as well. You got a little shout out. So these aren't as strong. It says they're permanent, but they're not. But they were good enough for that car journey. And I'm thinking maybe for the next load that go to the, on the cabinet stuff, if I put two on. So the plan, they've got one underneath them, and it was to transport them from house to office. And then it means at the office, if I need them, it's not strong, as in like it shaking in the car, they're fine, but you can pick them off easily because I don't want them attached to the thing. So it means they're not wobbling about in the drawer when I'm going through the different drawers, and I can just sort of puck them off when I need them for photos and stuff like that. I also prodded Wargames Illustrated because they're around here a lot. Oh, my light's gone weird now. So that if they need photos, because they do that quite a lot around Lenton Business Centre, sort of scuffling around for nice minis for photos, and like, need any women's? We got them. Which reminds me, I know, I'm ploughing through it. I know I'm in a weird hunch. It's because otherwise I'll be up here. I've got my knees out. I'm going to sit up here now. You won't hear me though. Because the Wargames Illustrated votes are up. So if you go on the Wargames Illustrated website, you can vote for your favourite stuff. So make sure you do that, because 1 year I'm going to win. 1 year. I'm up against Warlord here, and they're 5 times customer service award. And I always get runner-up. Now, I totally have better customer service, so... Not that I care. I am that person that says, I don't care about awards. And then when the awards are announced, I'm like, nothing for me. Well, it's bollocks anyway, isn't it? But if I win, I'm like, oh no, it's totally legit. It's because I'm the best. And I am a validation requirer. Dave, what are you doing? Dave's growling around. Do you like me a bit of validation? And so, but I also, it's so funny because each year I'll see a few companies and they spam the internet and they do sponsored posts and stuff going, vote for us. And then if I get anywhere like I just go, hey, posts there. If you want to vote for me, it's cool. And then, what's it? Yeah, then I got a runner-up, and they'll be like, and he's persuaded a cult of followers. I'm like, no, I haven't. People actually just like my stuff. Oh, Dave's being so cute back there. He's one of the things him and Karen do is he likes to sort of pin her down, pin her down and lick her eyeball, but she seems to quite like it. So he's just licking her eyeball. Keep being friends. They've worn themselves out demanding breakfast. That's why. Oh, look, you being friends. Hmm. What else on my notes? So the minis now. All my minis are at the office. Um, oh yeah, the cult thing though, it's kind of like cult of personality. I'm like, no, it's because my stuff's good. My stuff's good, and I'm on this constant sort of like, somebody take me seriously, because I have not been taken seriously for the entirety of Bad Squiddo. Obviously, as it gets bigger and bigger, more people that might not have taken me seriously before are now like, oh, this is an actual company. Like, it sure is. Especially when they go, oh, you have an office? Yes, I have an office. I don't run it out of my bedroom. I have an office. I have retailers. I have distributors. Like, it is a company, and it's still, it's that whole, it's small, but it's also large. It's a decently sized company. It's just that I'm the only person here. But yeah, it's that sort of ongoing. I think part of it is because I need the validation. I've what's the word? I've got that sort of imposter syndrome-y self-esteem thing, but it's also not helped by the fact that in the industry there is a lot of like me being disregarded. So that feeds into that. So occasionally I will just be like, if I'm in a downer, I'm like, what's the point? No one wants me here. All that sort of stuff. Well, obviously you do, because you come here every week to watch me talking to myself. So obviously, and I sell enough figures to keep me afloat. So obviously it's good. But yeah, you get those sort of few, and then it's like, oh. So I guess my sort of lack of esteem isn't helped by that sort of then just people every day almost going, you shouldn't be here, your things aren't proper. And it's almost like a physical manifestation of the sort of brain weasels. So when I do get a little bit of recognition, I'm like, yes, they do see, they see. So yeah, something that doesn't matter also matters a bit. So anyway, what else? So yes, the minis at the office. Meaning I've got a bit of space in my bedroom because I have a tiny bedroom. It's a box room, and it also had all of the miniatures in there as well because there was nowhere else to put them. So they are now gone. And at 7:30 this morning, Argos dropped me off a cube storage unit for more of my belongings, so they can actually be in the house and not the garage. Yes. So the plan for today is mostly chores and catching up and chilling, lots of chilling, and also planning for the week ahead, which I've not been in a position to do in a while. As I think I said earlier, this is the first time I've done an entire solid week at the office in a long time. So that's a really big achievement. Yes. So that's what today is going to be, sort of planning next week and making sure I can keep that momentum going. I'm sure I've got some other bits on my news. Back in the saddle, order forms, new things, apology tour, Twitter. I had some stuff. What was I going to say? I had something cool. I've always got loads of cool things to say. So yeah, there's loads of new stuff coming. I've even been working on a Kickstarter for the new year, which is still not coming till community miniatures are done. Don't fear. But this is some more fantasy stuff, kind of out of the blue, that I've been working with a sculptor on. It's one where he's kind of done most of the work, so that's why it's able to happen, because it's sort of just funneling along, which is cool. Oh yeah, the bitching. I didn't even know it was something else. Right, what have we got? It's 22. I better try not to go more than 10 minutes. So this again doesn't go with what I do, because the whole point of what I do is lift up what you like, ignore what you don't like. But you may have noticed that I've had quite a few rants. Informing about. Get down here. Get down here. COcast. And I've yeah, not a fan. So largely it's been about the heavy sales technique, and I'm looking at the figures now. And obviously, let me just think over here. I got some. And I had some a while ago, but I kind of forgot, and I thought I'm going to sit down here now. Oh no, you'll see all the crap on the sofa. Hang on, all the crap. Oh yeah, I'll go down here now. I don't. Why am I down here? Right. No, I'm going to be down here. You're going to see more of the junk. Oh, it's all right. It's just a hand. Why am I down here? I feel because I'm talking shady. Sit down here. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go back up. This is silly. I'm going to go back up and sit down. I'm going to sit here again. So I actually got hold of some recent, and it was some that I'd been looking at online and thinking, maybe the quality is not as bad. I'm not going to show it, which I know sounds really sketchy, because I do hate the idea of talking bad about other war games companies. COcast aren't a war games company, so it's allowed. But this company who has used them, I wouldn't want to talk bad or put people off buying their stuff, because again, it's that whole we're in it together. They've obviously spent over 100 grand on their machine, so they're going to want to get that money back. So I've got hold of these miniatures that have just come out, and they're appalling. They're appalling at first glance. So this is, again, part of the reason I'm sort of being vocal about this is because part of their marketing is saying that my stuff's crap. Not me personally, but they're saying resin and metal is crap. You want to use our product. And don't take too kindly to that. They're selling people these machines at 100 grand plus with all the stuff, and then they're sort of multi-level marketing it allegedly to other companies, so you can use it as a service, basically like a casting service. And it seems like people get stuck in this because they've spent a lot of money. And the fact constantly online is people going, it's great, it's great, it's great. And it's that whole thing where you see your peers all saying something's great, and you're like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being an old man. And so bad. So the actual detail, right, is excellent. The detail is excellent. I'm not disputing that. Oh yeah, I did mean to do a compare. So this is dark grey. So I don't think it's the newest black stuff, but I don't think it's the earlier stuff either. But it's so bendy, like extremely bendy. And the ankles of them are just not gonna. It's like there's one with a sword, and you can't paint it because it just whisks away. And it's worse. I think it's worse than board game material. It's really weird. A bunch of them have been pre-cleaned up because you can tell by the burring. And I noticed that I can actually, it's soft, that if I put my nail, which is just a normal nail, it's not like a mega long nail, you can cut into it with your nail. So even if you get them painted, they're going to break. And I don't know how, I haven't tried gluing them yet. But I don't know how well they're going to glue back together. And it's not. And I am happy. I would happy to say fair play. It's it's decent. If it was, because I've still got the issues with the way it's sold, but it's really not. I still think there's definitely uses for it. Like one of the things was quite a chunky bit of terrain. I was like, that's actually okay. So, but just use resin. It's so much cheaper. What was the other bit? So it was the bendy, the mold lines, the way you can kind of put the nail in it, yeah. And it's not that much cheaper. And I know for what's it? If you're buying it from a company that are doing it rather than have your own machine, I've heard from a couple of people that it's more, if not the same price as resin. Like, just use resin. Just use resin. But yeah, it just makes me sad seeing people kind of being sucked into it, and then possibly by what's the word? Pride. which is an actual, I'm not saying anything bad about people. It's a natural thing. You've invested a bunch of stuff. It's like a sunk cost thing. You don't want to then go, oh, this was all a terrible mistake. You've kind of got to convince yourself and therefore others that it's that it's all right, and it ain't. And yeah, it kind of sucks. Yeah, I just wanted to mention it because, like I say, I got hold of some of them yesterday and I went, oh, this is going on the show. I was going, oh Lord, this is not good. I still think there's uses for the stuff, but the thing it's being sold as is this alternative superior to metal and resin. I'm like, it's not. So bent. I've just got it here. I wish I could show you, but again, I don't want to slag off another company other than ZUCC. Maybe they haven't seen my videos because they're still sending me spam about meeting up. So maybe. Yeah, Tim says about the machine. Yeah, because you're totally dependent on one company. So if you can't get the thing fixed, and they can set the prices, it's just mad. Whereas anything else, you can just go and get a variety of different companies to sort of quote you or fix you, all that sort of stuff. I've got other news. I'm sure I had another bit of news that I hadn't written down. What is that? Talking of materials, I have a massive restock on the way. I've got a massive restock. And if you're waiting on stuff, that has been ordered. So I've got loads of new stuff coming. I'm hoping this month, the capybaras, if it's probably too late, because if you were going to go, you'd be going. But Warfare is on this weekend. I think it's Farnborough now. And Great Escape, apparently, what I've heard, was supposed to be my reps and having all of my stuff. But accidentally booked a small stand, so it's not there. Although I did hear from them on Friday, and they said if people want anything in particular, we'll go out to the van and get it for them. So technically, there's stuff on the stand at Warfare. What they do have is the brand new capybara set. I managed to get that to them in time, so they've got that on there. I think they've got a couple of the other new bits. So they're there today. With the newies, but yeah, some of these newies, once they're painted, kind of waiting on a few painters at the moment, but I've got a whole bunch of stuff that will be out before the end of the month, so you will be able to use that Indie Winter code on it as well. And I'll pin something to the website. Just I'll pin, normally on the main page there's news at the bottom, and I normally do it, but I forgot. But I need to put a little link to the newsletter, so if you forget what the code is or how it works, it'll be on the main page Monday. So yeah, I'll try and get all those new things out this month. So we've got all the queens available separately, corgis available separately. We've got some more horror things that you've not seen, capybara family. It's all in ZUCC, it's not in ZUCC. Yeah, it's frustrating because it's like I can't see a situation where it's better. It's just that full marketing thing. Like, fair play, the marketing is strong. Katie's going to IPMS show in Telford. Have a very nice time. I will be getting out of here because it's Remembrance Sunday and we're at 13 minutes to 11. So I'll give you time to get yourselves sorted. And if anyone's doing the minute silence or any other sort of observations, I'll get out of here. So I'm not clogging that up. So keep an eye out this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed for me. I'm going to be continuing in beast mode, and you'll see lots of things happening, including just me posting on social media again. Because I noticed even like the Facebook page is really quiet at the moment because I haven't been posting because I've not been about. So I am in total beast mode, entirely focused on work. And sorting these pigs out, poor little hungry things. So I will catch you later. Because I enjoy Remembrance Sunday. A moment to recognise everyone we've lost in wars, because that sucks. That's the takeaway. It definitely sucks. We reenact them in 28mm, but the reality of them really sucks. So, right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for sticking by me while things have been really crap. And I'll catch you soon. Bye.